The red sun burned low over the city of Varric. Its tall, black towers reached into the sky, and the flags of the Tsarine Empire flew above them. Queen Elenya stood on her balcony, her eyes cold. She watched the soldiers in the training grounds below. Her empire had been at war with the humans for years. They were stronger than expected, smarter too. In her hand was a small device. It showed the face of a human soldier. His name was Ethan Cole. He had been captured during a raid on the outer colonies. He had fought hard, killing many Tsarine before he was taken. Elenya had seen the reports. This human was different. Not afraid, not broken. She ordered his death herself. "Make sure he dies slow," she told her top general Varric, "and let the humans see what happens when they resist." Varric bowed and left the room. In a deep prison beneath the palace, Ethan was tied to a metal wall. His body was cut and bruised. Two guards stood near him, their eyes glowing red in the low light. Ethan looked at them and smiled. Even now, he did not beg. "You think this will stop them?" Ethan asked. "You think killing me will change anything?" One guard hit him across the face. Ethan spat blood but kept smiling. Hours passed, and Varric entered with a group of officers. He walked up to Ethan and stared at him. "You were strong," Varric said, "but not strong enough." He gave a signal. The guards raised their weapons. Bright blue light filled the room. Screams echoed in the hall. Later, Varric reported to Queen Elenya. "He is dead," Varric said. Good, Elenya replied. "Make sure the body is burned. No grave." The Empire celebrated the death. Banners were raised. Broadcasts went out across systems. The human warrior was gone. Peace would return, they said. But peace did not come. Strange attacks began on the edges of the Empire. Small outposts were destroyed. Tsarine soldiers vanished. Whispers spread through the army. Some said they saw a ghost, a man with human eyes and a scar across his face. Some laughed. Others began to fear. Queen Elenya ignored the stories. She ruled with iron hands. She crushed any who spoke against her. She believed Ethan Cole was dead. No one could survive that kind of death. But in a hidden valley far from the palace, a woman named Leah worked in silence. She had been in the prison the night Ethan was taken. She had seen something no one else saw. She had doubts. So she acted. Leah was born Tsarine, but her heart had changed. She had seen the truth of the war. She knew her people were not always right. She had found Ethan barely alive after the attack. She had helped him escape. She hid him in the mountains, treated his wounds, and kept him safe. Ethan did not forget. Not the pain, not the screams, not the Queen's eyes. He trained, he waited, he listened. And when the time was right, he walked toward the capital city once more. It's not with an army, not with a weapon, but with a plan. Queen Elenya stood in her court, dressed in dark robes, proud and calm. The court was full of nobles and soldiers. Music played. All was normal. Then the doors opened. A man walked in, tall, calm, his eyes full of fire. Some guards stepped forward. Then they stopped. Queen Elenya turned and saw him. Her face went white. Ethan Cole was not dead. The past had come back to face her. The room went silent. The music stopped. Every eye turned to the man who had just walked in. The guards stood frozen. No one moved. No one breathed. Ethan Cole stood tall, his face calm but his eyes sharp. The scars on his face told a story no one wanted to remember. Queen Elenya took a step back. She could not speak. She could not think. She had watched him die. She had ordered it. But there he was, alive, breathing, and standing in her court. A young officer near the queen whispered, "How is this possible?" Elenya raised her hand to silence him. She tried to hide her fear. She forced herself to speak. "Who let this man in? Arrest him now." But the guards did not move. Their eyes shifted to each other. Some took small steps back. Others lowered their weapons. None of them dared face the man who had come back from death. Ethan took one step forward. His boots echoed in the hall. "You remember me?" he said. His voice was calm. No anger, no hate, just truth. Queen Elenya tried to keep control. "You should be dead." "I was," Ethan said. He looked around the court. Many nobles stared at him in shock. Some looked away. A few whispered to each other. They had seen the videos. They had seen the queen declare him dead. They had believed her. You gave the order, Ethan said, his eyes fixed on Alenia. She raised her chin. You were an enemy of the Empire. You killed our people. I was a soldier, Ethan said, just like yours. I followed orders, but you broke your own laws. You killed a prisoner. Some gasps filled the room. He lies, Alenia shouted. It's dangerous. He escaped. We did what we had to. No, said a voice from the crowd. A figure stepped forward. It was Leah. She wore simple clothes, no armor, no weapons, but her eyes were strong. He did not escape, she said. He survived because I saved him, because I could not let your lies go on. Guards stepped toward her, but again, they paused. They looked unsure. Queen Alenia's face turned red with anger. You betrayed your people. You helped an enemy. I helped a man, Leah said. I helped someone who showed more honor than you, the court murmured. Some nodded. Others stayed silent. The air was thick with fear and doubt. Ethan raised a hand. I did not come for war, he said. I came for truth. You tried to kill me, not because I was a soldier, but because you were afraid. Afraid of what I saw. Afraid of what your people might learn. Queen Alenia tried to speak, but her voice failed her. This is a trick, she said weakly. You believe a traitor and a ghost? Ethan turned to the court. Look at me, he said. Do I look like a ghost? I am here. I am alive. And I remember everything. He reached into his coat and pulled out a small metal chip. This holds the truth. Recordings, orders, everything. It shows what she did, what she tried to hide. Leah stepped forward and placed a second chip on the floor. And this shows how we found the truth. The queen used her power to silence those who asked questions. She used fear. Now we bring light. The court fell into chaos. Nobles shouted. Officers moved between groups. Guards stood still, unsure of their orders. Queen Alenia backed away slowly. Ethan stood still, watching it all. He had walked into the court alone, but he did not need an army. The truth was louder than any weapon, and the queen had already lost control. The court was breaking. Nobles shouted at each other. Some called for calm, others called for justice. Many eyes turned to Queen Alenia, but she gave no orders. Her hands shook. Her mouth stayed shut. The queen who once ruled with fear now looked like a statue, frozen by truth. Ethan stood with Leah at his side. He held no weapon. He did not need one. He had already done what no army could. He had made them see. One of the High Council members, an older man named Derek, stepped forward. He looked at Ethan, then at the queen. Oh, what he says is true. We have been ruled by lies, Derek said. Queen Alenia tried to speak again. You know nothing, she said. He is human. He hates us. No, Ethan said. I was your enemy in war, but I do not hate. I only bring the truth. Another council member, a woman named Rena, walked to the center of the room. Then let us see it, Rena said. Play the recordings. Let all in this court hear the truth. The court technician walked forward and took the chip from Ethan. He placed it into the main system. Large screen lit up. Voices played. Images filled the room. The recording showed Queen Alenia giving the kill order. Her voice was clear. Her face was calm. The screen also showed the guards as they attacked Ethan in the cell. And it showed Leah saving him. It showed how she treated his wounds, how she hid him, how they moved through the mountains. People watched in silence. When the recordings ended, no one spoke. Ethan stepped forward. I could have come here with fire, with guns, with hate. But I came with truth. Now you must choose. Keep the lies, or make something better. Some guards stepped forward. They took off their helmets and dropped them on the floor. One of them said, I will not follow a queen who kills to hide her fear. More guards joined him. Queen Alenia looked around. She saw her power slipping. She pointed at Leah. You are a traitor. You helped him. You helped an enemy. I helped save a life, Leah said. And now, I help save this empire. Queen Alenia turned to Varric, her loyal general. Arrest them, she shouted. All of them. Varric did not move. His face was hard. He looked at Ethan, then at the queen. I followed your orders, Varric said. I thought I served justice. Now I see I served fear. I will not do it again, Alenia screamed. She grabbed a small knife from her side and ran at Ethan. Leah moved fast and blocked her. The knife hit the floor. 2 guards held the queen back. "This is not your court anymore," one of them said. The council moved fast. They called for a vote. Within minutes, Queen Elenia was removed from power. She did not speak. She only stared at Ethan as she was led away. Ethan stood in the center of the room. Many wanted him to lead. Many asked him to stay. He said no. "I did not come to rule," Ethan said. "I came to show you the truth. What you build now is up to you." He looked at Leah as she stayed when she could have run. She chose what was right, not what was safe. "She will help you rebuild." Leah nodded. "I will not lead with fear," she said. "I will help us move forward." As the court began to rebuild, Ethan left. He walked through the same gate he had entered. No guard stopped him. No one dared. Outside the palace, people had gathered. They saw him and stepped aside. No one cheered. No one clapped. They simply watched him walk by, silent and in awe. He left behind a broken empire, but also a chance for something better. He had come as a ghost, left as a legend. The streets of the capital were quiet the next day. Banners of the old queen had been taken down. Her name was no longer spoken with pride. People moved with unsure steps. The empire had changed overnight. Leah stood on the high platform inside the court. Her voice was steady, but her heart was heavy. She had never wanted power. She had only wanted truth. But now the court had chosen her to lead the council. Not as a queen, but as a guide. "We do not need a crown," she said to the crowd. "We need new ways. We need to fix what was broken." Some cheered. Others just listened. They were tired of lies, but they did not know who to trust. Leah saw it in their eyes. She did not blame them. Back in the mountains, Ethan Cole watched the sky. He sat near a fire with a small group of settlers. These people had once lived in fear of the empire. Now they were free, but they did not know what to do with that freedom. One man asked him, "Why didn't you stay? You could have ruled." Ethan shook his head. "I came to stop a lie," he said. "Not to build my name." The man looked down. "We need someone like you," he said. "We still have enemies. You have each other," Ethan said.
"I think that is enough. Learn, grow, stand. Don't wait for someone to save you. Come strong together." Word spread across the stars. Colonies that once feared the Zareen Empire began to speak out. Small leaders rose. Groups formed to protect their homes.
Leah sent help where she could. She worked day and night to bring order. It was not easy. Many of the old leaders still tried to fight. They wanted the old ways back. Some sent mercenaries, others sent lies. Leah faced them all, with her voice, facts, with support from those who had seen the truth. A group of rebel soldiers broke into a storage base near the capital. They burned supplies and tried to kill the new council guards. They failed, but it showed that peace would not come fast. Leah called for a meeting. "We will not answer with fear," she said. "We will answer with unity. If we break now, the old ways return. We must hold strong." A woman in the council asked, "And if they attack again?" Leah paused. "Then we will stand together," she said, "not as rulers, not as lords, but as people who will not kneel to fear again." She sent messages to far colonies. She asked for skilled people to help rebuild. Teachers, builders, healers, some answered. Others watched from a distance. Meanwhile, Ethan walked from place to place. He fixed broken machines, helped farms, taught children how to protect their homes. He never stayed long. He came, helped, and moved on. He left behind more than stories. He left behind courage. On one planet, a young girl asked him, "Are you the man who scared the queen?" Ethan smiled. "No," he said. "The truth scared her. I just carried it." Back in the capital, Leah stood in the court alone one night. She looked at the stars through the tall glass. The empire she had grown up in was gone. In its place stood something fragile, something new. She did not know if it would last, but she knew it was worth fighting for. Someone entered the room. It was an old guard, one who had served Queen Elenia. "You are not like her," he said. "I know," Leah replied. "That is why people follow you," he said. Leah did not answer. She only looked up at the sky again. The stars were quiet. A change had already begun to move between them. And far away, Ethan walked across a red desert. alone but never forgotten. His path was long, his work was not done. But he walked with peace. He had faced death. He had faced lies. Now he helped build a new truth, one step at a time. Years passed. The Empire no longer looked the same. The court was smaller, quieter, and open to all voices. Leaders came from every planet, not just the homeworld. The tall flags of war were gone. Now, there were banners of unity, peace, and work. Leah still sat in the main hall, not as queen, but as the speaker. She gave no orders. She gave no punishments. She listened. She guided. Some days were hard, some nights were long. But the people stood behind her because she had stood for them when no one else did. Children in schools now learned a different history. They learned about the fall of the old queen, the broken lies, and the human who walked into the court and made the walls shake without firing a shot. They knew his name. Ethan Cole, the ghost who came back, the man who showed what truth could do. But Ethan was never seen in the court again. He'd become a traveler. He moved from world to world. He helped where help was needed. He built homes, repaired old tech, trained people to defend themselves. He never asked for thanks. He never stayed for praise. On one cold planet near the edge of the known systems, Ethan stood with a group of miners. A storm had hit their station. Their power was gone. He worked for hours with tools in hand, hands shaking from cold until light returned. The miners cheered. One of them offered him a warm bed, smiled and left before the sun rose. Stories about him spread again. Not about war or death, but about strength and kindness. They called him the Firewalker, the quiet builder, the man who never gave up. Leah sometimes heard these stories. They made her smile. She knew he was out there, still helping, still walking. The Empire owed him much. He had asked for nothing, not even his name written in stone. One day a statue was placed in the capital. It showed a man walking through broken gates, his coat torn, his eyes forward. There was no crown on his head, no sword in his hand. Only these words were written below. He did not come to rule. He came to remind us who we were. Some of the old enemies still tried to rise. Few ships attacked small colonies. Some groups wanted to bring back the old ways, but they were small. The people stood strong. They remembered the fear. They remembered the scream in the court when one man walked in. Ethan did not need to return. The people had already changed. In a small village on a green planet, a young boy asked an old man, "Was Ethan real? Did he really walk into the court alone?" The old man nodded. "Yes, he did, and he did more than that. He gave us back our voices. Will he come here someday? Maybe, maybe not. But that does not matter. You can be like him. Anyone can if they choose to stand when it's hard." On a silent night, under the stars, Ethan sat by a lake. He looked at the sky. He did not need noise. He did not need light. He had done what he came to do. The galaxy would never forget him.